Morning. It's Easter Sunday, 10:30 in the morning, and I've just parked up at Scagill Bridge car park. Lucky to get free parking on a bank holiday, especially this time at 10:30. So my plan today is to knock off a Wainwright I haven't done before, which is Whinlatter. But whilst I'm doing Whinlatter, I thought I may as well go up and do a couple of fells that I've done before, Lord's Seat, and then have a look over on Barf. The weather looks really nice. Should get some super views into Bassenthwaite and Derwent water. So we'll see what those views are like, shall we? So it looks as though there's a bit of parking, about a quarter of a mile up the lane from Scagill Bridge. No parking beyond that point by the looks of it. A bit of a notice here about logging. Hopefully it doesn't affect me today. So I'm just walking along this track, listening to the bird song and taking in the views. It's lovely, another lovely day for it. So plan on going up Whinlatter first to bag the Wainwright I haven't done before moving on to Lord's Seat, and then finally Barf. Some signs here reminding you about forestry work in the area and danger. It's a bit of machinery up ahead, but I don't expect they'll be working on Easter Sunday, but I'll keep aware of the signs and make sure I don't go in any areas that are out of bounds. So I've just left those machinery behind. I'm making my way up this track, a bit of an incline, so starting to make a bit of height. Here we start to look for a path into the trees on the left. It looks like a path anyway, through the wood. Well, it's certainly a path, so just making our way up through the wooded area at the side of this wall. So just making my way up through this steep path through the wooded area, a bit out of breath, but my legs are still a bit sore from the last 3 days of hiking and running, but I don't feel as bad as they did yesterday, so that's good. So now out of the woods. We're out of the woods. It's a coin of phrase. I'm just following this path over the side of the wall. I think we've done most of the yard climbing, if the contours on the map are anything to go by. So looking back, you can see the height I've made. Drop down from that bottom of that tree line. There's a pretty steep climb up through the forest. Well, I thought for 1 second I'd have to climb the fence, but then I just spied a stile getting me over the fence, just a few metres further down. Job's a good one. You get some smashing views out to the coast. Rare troubles. So I'll just getting over this stile now, and those good views out into the sea. Looks like the clearest day yet that I've been on this trip. So I should get some smashing views off Barf. With a bit of luck. So we're just going to make our way up this path. And shouldn't be too far from the top of Brow now, which is at the back of Whinlatter. So directly across from us is Broom Fell. You can see up the wall. I think that's the route I took up the last time I came here. which is about 2 or 3 years ago. Then I went across to Graystones, and then came back and did Lord's Seat and Barf, and silly me, didn't knock off Whinlatter, so that's why I'm here today. Oh, this is another proper hermit walk so far. Not seen a soul since I left the car park. When I was walking that track earlier on, I was wondering whether I was going on to an out of bounds place for the log felling, but I didn't see any sign saying don't go this way, stop, etc. Sure, I was fine. I was just looking around. I always got to remember to look round. You're climbing up. You can see people on Graystones and Broom Fell. I think I might do those two as well. May as well do the round, because the car's is parked not too far from the route off Graystones. You can see basically I come down the side of that wall there. I don't even know if I'm pointing right, but yeah, you can see like a line coming down the hill, and you basically walk down the side of that wall, takes you down to the roadside, and then the car park is not too far from there. Getting views over into Scagill over yonder. Still making our way up to Brown. This is Brown. I believe it's 517 metres. Looks as though it could be a bit of a shelter. It's Brown. Just going to take a quick 360 on the top of Brown. Getting around to Graystones, Broom Fell, Lord's Seat, and then over around just behind those trees is Barf, and then we're making our way over to Whinlatter, which should be just ahead. Very breezy on top of here, so just going to crack on and get over to Whinlatter top. You can see a couple coming towards Brown now, so other people. So that wind's a bit cutting, so I've decided to put my waterproof jacket on, which is windproof, just to give me a bit of a extra barrier from that wind. I felt kind of cold but not cold, so I thought just to be safe I'd put my lightweight waterproof jacket on, which is windproof. Don't want to be catching a cold. So just coming up onto Whinlatter top at 525 metres. That was an impressive summit marker as Brown, but it's a pile of stones. So this is Whinlatter top, a new Wainwright for the Aiken Hermit. Just taking a 360 off Whinlatter top. You can see over to Scagill. Looking round, I believe that's Grisdale Pike up there. And looking back onto Brown now. Over towards Scotland, and the other 2 or 3 Munros, Wainwrights that I'm going to be doing possibly a little later. Even very breezy Whinlatter top. We're going to go over to Lord's Seat next. Just on our way off Whinlatter top, getting some decent views now. Over some different views over smatterings of Derwent water across the Scagill. I believe that's where we're headed to next, just over there, Lord's Seat. We're just going to make our way up along this path up beside the fence there, along the line of trees. to the top of the brow of the hill. So I'm just along the fence line now, looking into the Whinlatter Forest, or is it marked as Bassenthwaite Forest on the map. I've just seen a couple of mountain bikers go down the path. Now I'm about to drop into the woods again through this gate. Hopefully I don't collide with any of the mountain bikers. It looks as though I'm on a off the beaten track path, hiker's path. Looks very hermit friendly. If you go down in the woods today, you sure have a big surprise. Hopefully there's no surprises. Though my path crosses the biker's track, or main track, I'm going to drop further down. We're going to a main drag down here by the looks of it. Well, we're out the woods. We're out the woods. Going to make our way up this main pathway now, up to Lord's Seat. So I'm just following the signs for Seat out. Should be Lord's Seat up here. And you can see Lord's Seat just up ahead. So we'll make our way over to there. So there's the Lord's Seat just up there. Now look around, you can see Whinlatter, where I was not so long ago. And then the tall one there, I believe is Grisdale Pike. So a lovely stile to cross. Making heavy work of that. Being sidetracked with the views out to the coast onto Lord's Seat.
Oh, sorry.
So just leaving a super windy Lord's Seat behind and making my way over to Barf, where you get some really smashing views, and it's a really clear day today, so I'm hoping to get some good photos and some good video footage. So that's our next target, Barf. Looks like they've put a proper path in since I was here last, about 2, maybe 3 years ago, and it was like I think it was a bit boggy. They put like a shale path in, looks right pretty much to the top. So just getting them views into Derwent Water now, as we are still on our way to Bath, not too far away now. If you can hear me over this quite blustery wind. And the views into Bassenthwaite as we approach the summit of Bath. So here we are, summit of Bath. Breezy summit. Just taking a walk around on Bath. I'll do a 360 because you probably won't get the better views if you can hear me. So look at that smashing views over Bassenthwaite. Can't grumble at them views, can you? Wow. You can see over to Derwent Water. And then it's pretty boring off the back as we look over towards Lord's Seat and the summit. Get some photos now. Wow, super view. If you can hear me over the wind. So I get me with them smashing views over Bassenthwaite, Scagill Bridge Pike, and looking over to Derwent Water. Just off the summit of Barf, if you can hear me, it's super windy. Getting views just off the top on the other side, over towards Bassenthwaite. Smashing views over towards Lord's Seat. So just dropped down a little ways off Barf before we go up to Lord's Seat. I thought, oh, there's a little viewpoint here, see the length of Bassenthwaite, a bit of a different perspective from the summit. So I'll not get too close to the edge because it is pretty windy, as you can probably hear. So there is quite a drop off top of here. That sure is a beautiful view. It's probably one of the best views in the lakes. Oh, there are so many good views in the lakes. So making my way back up to Lord's Seat now. Back the way we came. Just left a breezy bath, not too far from being back up onto Lord's Seat. But I made my way across to Broom Fell. You can see somebody on the summit. It's got quite an impressive summit marker, so we're going over there shortly. After we've revisited Lord's Seat. So just arriving back on a very breezy Lord's Seat. So smashing views out to the coast in Scotland. It's going a 360 off the Lord's Seat. It's a lot less busy when I first come up. And down towards Scagill, Bridge, Barf and Dodd. Looking over towards Whinlatter, Grysdale Pike. The tall one is Grysdale Pike. Right, going over to Broom Fell. So just leaving a very breezy Lord's Seat to make our way across. There's a Broom Fell. You can see across there. There's quite a nice summit marker. Probably already said that before. On top of Broom Fell. It's like there's a few people making their way across. Getting views of Bassenthwaite. You can see over to Ling Fell and Sale Fell, where I was yesterday. Well, it's a lot less busy as we make our way across to Broom Fell, and not as boggy as I expected. Well, up till now. Hopefully that's not famous last words. Looks like Broom Fell is quite busy as well. Just listening to the bird song while taking in those awesome views around me. Don't get much better than this. We're now not too far away from Broom Fell, as you can see. It's got a pretty good summit marker and a summit shelter. Spoiled on this one. So just going over the stile. Done this one before. It was 2 or 3 years ago now. There we are. Broom Fell. It's 360 off Broom Fell. I'll go around the summit cairn. It's a bit of a summit shelter there. That's a way down, one way down, and then there's Graystones, the last summit over yonder. You can see the coast of Scotland pretty clear. Don't know if the GoPro's picking it up pretty clear though. And pretty clear views over into Skiddaw and Ullock Pike and Dodd. Well, yeah, pretty impressive cairn here at Broom Fell. Didn't get these views last time. I had a bit of clag and I wasn't vlogging back then, so it's good to come back and take in that cairn again and some of the views that I missed. Now make our way over to the last Wainwright of the day, which is Graystones. So, just making his way to Graystones. You can just about see the summit cairn of Broom Fell where I've just dropped off. I'm just following like a makeshift path up to Graystones. I saw a bunch of people heading that way, so I don't know if they'll be off the summit by the time I get there. I would have thought so. Looks like we've got a drop down here, this dip, before climbing back up to Graystones. And just making our way up to Graystones still. Got some sheep here, but there's two paths. There's one, the steadier path, which is longer, or up the side of the wall there, route 1, which I think I'm going to take. I should add, as we're going past these sheep, you can see very clearly the coast of Scotland in the background, and the Mull of Galloway right on the very end. I was there last year. Got a couple of videos on my channel if you're interested in that. There's some super views, got some very good days on the Mull of Galloway. Well, I'm at the bottom of that climb. I've just checked the map and it looks as though for Graystones the steadier climb is the better option. So that's what I'm going to take. Just making my way up this grassy verge on the way up to Graystones. There's kind of a path. It's more like where a lot of people have walked rather than a path. I don't know if you can just about make it out on the GoPro. I believe just ahead there on that outcropping is Graystones. So here we are, approaching the final Wainwright of the day, Graystones. Very blustery Graystones. This here is the Wainwright summit of Graystones and not the official summit on OS maps. We are Graystones, and the 360 views off Graystones. It's a very clear day, so I'm getting some really clear views. You can see the path I'm going to attempt to take down. Hopefully it's not too steep down on the way back to the car park, but we're not actually too far from the car park from here. Keep watching me going down this steep hill. I have to put the GoPro away soon though, because it's fairly steep. But anyway, I can get to the bottom of that bit. I'll be alright. I'm parked just in those trees down there, so not too far away. Just getting down this really steep bank. So I'm going to put the camera away so I don't smash my camera. Got to like zigzag down this bit. Looks pretty steep, but I think I've been down worse. So it's the quickest way back to the car, so let's do it. Well, that was incredibly steep. I had to really watch what you was doing on the way down. But I'm almost at the bottom now. Just got this little bit. Got to get to that bridge, go up the road a little bit to where I'm parked up. So hopefully there's no more like dodgy hazards, but we'll see, shall we? And that's it, we made it from up there. I'll see if I can get a better view of just what I've dropped down. It was pretty airy on the way down, I must admit. Here we are at the bridge level. It's got across the bridge and up the road. And there's where the cars parked at Scagill Car Park, Scagill Bridge. I assume this is Scagill Bridge. Lovely view of the beck or river, stream. So there's a few others have come down, possibly off where I've just been. But basically, I've just dropped down off the top of there. Well, that top of there is not the top of Graystones, it's a false summit. But yeah, I've just had to basically come down there. Pretty steep, as you can see. Maybe you don't get the perspective on just how steep it is, but take it from me, it was steep and pretty airy. Well, I thought most of my climbing was over, but now I'm climbing up the Whinlatter Pass to get back to the car. It's not too far though, it's just over this bridge and then over to the left. Just get a bit of a perspective on what I've just clambered down from the top of that hill in front of us, by the wall, straight down there. Put the camera away about just after that first slight crag near the top. Not for the faint-hearted. I can see my car just up there. But if you want to go to the visitor centre, pay £8 for parking. Be my guest. I'll park for free. So that's me almost back at the car. That's five Wainwrights. One new one, 4 I'd already done before. That was Whinlatter, Lord Seat, Barf, Broom Fell and Graystones. It was just short of 10 miles, 2,850 feet of ascent, and just let me see how long it took. 5 hours 20. Oh, so not so a bad day. And plenty parking in the parking area now. Free parking here, so Scagill Bridge, plenty of room. I was surprised to get a parking spot this morning, but my luck was in.